And we're live. Welcome back, everybody. We're on episode 18. I'm here with Kimberly and Rachel and myself, Sue, and we're here to talk about all things plants, all things dogs, all things life, all things growth, all things whatever comes up. Thank you for being here. We'd love you to subscribe and hit the button below, please. And we love questions. So we do take questions and we will try to answer them on each episode. So if you have a question, any kind of question that you want to answer, throw it at us and let's see where we'll go with that. But today we didn't have a specific viewer question, but we always like to start with a question. So I'm going to start with a question today. And the ladies, by the way, we never know what the question's going to be. One of us just comes on unless it's a viewer question, of course. So this one is aligned with the season that we're in, which is Beltane. Many of you will probably know what Beltane is. It's that peak of summer. It's in between the spring and the summer equinoxes. And it's really on the threshold of summer. And it's really when everything is fertile and growing, and we're just seeing an abundance of nature just absolutely exploding at the moment, certainly in the northern hemisphere anyway. In the southern hemisphere, it might be different. Things are slowing down, but I'm talking about this type of the season where it's blossoming and expanding and growing. It's an expansion type of the season. And it got me thinking about, just how, just walking in nature and seeing that bright green. I think there's a word for it. I've heard something verde or something. And it's that greenness. It's that bright, bright green wherever you go. And it's evidently has got an energetic effect on us, that green color. And it speaks to heart energies, it speaks to all sorts of things, but you can actually feel the energy of the nature when you're walking through it. I can anyway, and I'm sure you ladies can as well. So it's, as I said, it's about fertility, it's about expansion, it's about openness, but nature doesn't have a playbook. It doesn't have a funnel or a marketing campaign to say we're launching a new season and this is how we're going to do it. It just does what it just does. It just, life unfolds exactly as it should from season to season, and we see these beautiful changes happening in nature. And it got me thinking about how we've lost touch with that and how we try to make things happen and force things to happen, perhaps when they're not ready to happen or when it's right to happen, or we want everything to be as per a playbook, because that's way we've been taught. It's like, how do we teach our kids? How do we teach our dogs something? How do we raise them? And that's the word we sort of grow up with society. How do we raise our children? How do we raise good dogs? And so we're looking for a playbook or a course or a how-to manual on how to do that. And yet nature doesn't need that. And if you consider things like hundreds of thousands of years that humans have been living with animals, domestic animals, including dogs, they didn't have that then. And they lived very successfully with animals going back all those years. So why is it that we feel that we need to, you buy a puppy and the next thing you do is, buy a puppy course and this, that, and the next thing. And it's just, it's become so commercialized and so unnatural. So my question in all of that is, ladies, what are your thoughts on how perhaps when you first got your first dog, let's say, compared to now, a more natural, because we are sort of moving into a more natural way of being with our animals, how would you say that it was with that first dog and it is now? And how could you even move that even a step further, like really allowing it to be a more natural unfolding process of life itself versus us trying to direct or control the outcome of what we think that should look like? It's a big question. It's very loaded. So I'll leave it up to you for your own interpretation, and we'll just see where the conversation goes. How's that? Rachel, I'm going to start with you.
We were both sitting here was so ready. We were raising our hands and shouting, me, I want to go first. Not really. We were doing the
No.
opposite.
Well, first of all, I loved your introduction, and I was actually really just enjoying going on that journey with you. And I was in my imagination completely immersing myself in nature. And I will answer your question if I can remember it, but because I'm still on the journey with you, walking through nature and all of that expansion, and also not random that just before we jumped on the call, I was communicating with a dog and sharing his messages with this person. And the color that came through really strongly was green. It
Mm.
was just vibrant green. So, and as you were talking, I could picture, I've got a really tiny garden, which is perfect for me because I'm still learning about, I say growing things. I'm not growing them. They are growing themselves. But even the term "we are growing things"
Yes, but
is
that's a perfect thing, right? That's how we
it
think. You
is.
think, "I'm gonna
Yeah.
grow a garden. I'm
Yeah.
gonna grow a garden."
But my garden is definitely growing itself. I just co-creators where the seeds got planted, but I'm just watching my fennel she's so flamboyant. Fennel. I don't think I've grown three together. I know this is about dogs, but I want to talk about plants first. The fennel is just so flamboyant, and then the valerian is just very slowly taking height. And I'm absolutely loving the chaos of my very small garden. And I think if we sell this house, the next person that moves in will be like, what the hell just happened in this garden? Because next door, they've got, when people are so they probably have like their tape measure out and they've got everything symmetrically planted and it looks
Little
very
beds, neat
pleasing.
little beds.
Yes, neat little beds. Whereas I'm like, I'm just going to throw some catnip there and you can all work it out. So I think that's probably, I feel like being a nature bunny and working with dogs through zoo pharmacognosy has made me more wild and made me more connected to nature and feeling less like I need to control anything, which is the illusion,
Mm.
really, and that we're co-creating it. So that I'd say zoo pharmacognosy changed me a, a lot, an awful lot. I'm trying to think back to my first dog, Sophie, who's on the wall here. You've got to see her head, my three-legged Weimaraner from Batsy Dog. So I actually was quite old school then, really. I sort of, because I was working at a rescue, all the dogs were just in together. So people were probably a bit more rough and ready. And, dogs might have scraps and snap at each other. And I definitely wasn't in the training world at all. I think I was always not very good at it. So I guess I feel like my journey with Darcy, if I stay closest to that one, because she is a wild, athletic, strong being, and because she's my first puppy, I did try all the things like trying to get her to do the social stuff and to do all the things that everyone else around here is doing. But just didn't work really. Just she just was like, no, that's not working, Mum, let's do something else. So I I don't even know if I've answered this question, but I feel like I'm so in my unruliness now. It's it's so freeing to know that I'm co-creating with everything around me as opposed to feeling like I have to control any of it. It's it's just a different way. I don't know if that's the answer, but that's my answer. Sue's looking flabbergasted.
No, I'm not. I'm just because again we say I don't know if that's the answer. There's
Yeah,
no
true.
answer. We know that whatever you say, whatever comes out is exactly
Yeah.
what needs to be expressed. So
I
there's no
think
right and wrong.
I just expressed my garden really is what.
But you know what came to me right now is the name of our podcast. Hello. Unruly by nature. That's who we are. So, yes, I think it was a perfect answer, a beautiful answer. Thank you.
Thank you. I think my snails are happy at the chaos, by the way. I just add that in there because I have a lot of snails. I am like the mother of snails. They all come to my garden and hang out. So, yeah. Anyway, over to you, Kim. I'm intrigued to see what comes out your mouth.
I am too. Because I'm not gonna lie, my brain went off like a fireworks display when Sue asked the question. And all I can think of, because I was right on that journey too, and I'm just like, like listening to Sue, and I just thought of like, wouldn't it be freaking great if nature just had this like massive fanfare parade on the equinox, just dun 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 dun, dun. And it's just like they're all out there like we do on whatever days that we do that in our respective countries, and I'm like, that would be awesome. As everyone is out and they probably do in their own way.
Well, I was just
if
going
we
to say,
just
it actually
don't, like,
does. If you walk outside and you see everything in its absolute, it's like a
yeah,
carnival. It is like carnival. It's
It
yeah.
just, everything is bright and
If you
vibrant and,
if you
you
really sit
know,
down and watch, it is.
yeah.
It's just like here we're still coming out of winter, so it's
Uh-huh.
later. Everything's turning green, like you said, but I saw like the first like butterfly. And
Oh,
it's
wow.
like you're starting to see you're starting to see the bees. And it's just awesome. And part of what you're talking about with this control, it made me think of the movie Jurassic Park, where
Yeah.
like Jeff Goldblum's character, he's a kind of a chaos scientist, I think. And he, they're trying to control the environment of the dinosaurs, and he's like, life finds a way. And they realized they used frog DNA, and the dinosaurs changed sex and mated, and now there's way more they couldn't control it. And I think I actually I'm just gonna say I'm a recovering addict of control, and it is a constant reminder for me. But animal communication and zoo pharma have brought me really from one extreme into more grounded center. I still oscillate, and our dogs just tend to bring real life proof of how much work that there still is to do on my desire to control. Now, whether I do control, different story, but Django's getting older. He's not super well at the moment. And when like we've been having a lot of like really nasty tornadoes and storms, and so there's been stress in the family. Like there's human stress, there's weather stress, and then spring is springing, and there's that. And there was a full moon on Friday, so Thursday night Jim gets home from work. We're sitting talking quietly like we do after he gets home from work, right before dinner, and I don't know what happened, but Django did something and just pissed off Zori, and she lit onto him. And just like it was freaking chaos. And I'm like, and then all these thoughts, like, we got it fine. And the funniest freaking part of the whole thing is, as soon as Zori calms down and she comes out of that, like that adrenaline, the shakes that you get, and I have no idea where she was, but I'm just guessing that like it was family stress, and she helped us all just erupt and release it. Because like 30 seconds after, like, they're fine. The dogs are best friends again, right? And I'm the one that's not. And then it's, I'm a fraud. I'm all these things, like, just and I'm just like, oh, I see what you're doing, and you kind of go with it. And I like literally I was angry. And I'm like, what am I doing right? I went to me, like, what am I doing wrong that I can't, like Sue said, raise respectable dogs? Like, and then I'm just like, this is not, stop. And you stop. And like, now I know that awareness, and I can see this pattern that I have gone down in my past. And And Django's going up like, Zori, are you okay, man? Like, I just want to make sure you're fine. And he's limping because, like, it wasn't without, there was no blood, but there was, like, he's limping a few days later, but he's almost 13 and he's weakening. So, I mean, is that part of it? Does she sense that piece of it too? I mean, I think it's just, there's so many possibilities. And so I really stopped myself and I sat down with a journal and I just started writing, and it was amazing because what kind of came out of it was another story for me to write, of course. Right. And then I just, and it's like and this black dog is like the sweetest dog. Zori is, and then, she's just laying on my chest and like helping us to just calm down. And that, I guess, is like leads me to the next part of the conversation, because we can be responsible for ourselves and like we can be hyper responsible for our animals. But when like you have a family, I mean, we all have partners. So when there's another human involved, like that even adds like another layer to it, right? Because we can't do the work for them. And Jim's not interested in any of this, right? He just goes to his 9 to 5 and comes home every day, and he's quite happy doing it. So at what point does that balance? I mean, we could be frustrated by it, but at the end of the day, it's like just the people in our environment are showing us our own frustration. So it's such a loaded question. So I'm just going to leave it there. But yeah, I had the real life lesson. So great question.
Great story. Great.
Don't know if I answered it.
It doesn't matter. As I said, there is no correct answer that we're looking for. It was just to open up an exploration. And I think that's brilliant where it led. Kim, thank you. Great story. Great story. Yeah. So, I mean, I didn't even, when I thought about this question, I certainly didn't even think about my own answers. I haven't planned one. But while you ladies were talking, again, it just comes back to that same old thing where I do believe we set ourselves up for failure, because right from the beginning, we bring in so many rules and regulations and concepts and ideas and expectations when we bring animals into our life, that we're bound to fail, because life doesn't go by the playbook. It doesn't have a playbook, it unfolds exactly as it should. And like you said, there's so many different variables that are in there, and there's so many details in the bigger story that we have no idea of the bigger picture, how it's all playing out. And the more we do try to bring in, well, this is how it should be done, and this is what I need to do, and this is how I need to train it, then we really are setting ourselves up for a lot of uncomfortable, let's just call them uncomfortable challenges. And yet at the same time, isn't that even perfect? Because like you said, through the challenges, if we are willing to look a little bit deeper and to look below the surface of that and not see it just as a problem or a challenge to fix, but what else is going to come out of this, or what else what else can we explore through this? Then in effect, it doesn't really matter how you got there in the first place, does it?
But I feel like when you said that, Sue, I feel like I don't know that there are any failures.
No, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, exactly.
I feel like I go back to the feeling like I'm in a computer game, not in a horrible way, but as in life is a game, and we're all creating our part along with all of the other beings around us and elements. And like me, Rachel, I might choose to go and play tennis or go to the movies or go and learn a new skill, because that's what I'm drawn to do. But it's the bit where we have an attachment to what the end goal should be, the expectations and pressure on what it should look like, that creates the stress and the pain. But ultimately, I think we go into those different things. Number one, because we're drawn to, but number two, because we're evolving. And I think our main driver is to evolve and learn, like all of the plants and animals around us. So I don't think there ever is. Like my dad said to me the other, I can't remember what the question was, but he was saying something about regret. And I went, and I think he was a bit shocked when I said, I have zero regrets. Like I've had a lot of challenges and pain in my life, but I don't regret any of the decisions because with masses amount of hindsight, I'm here now as a result of all of those choices and all of that. When I look back and I can laugh at some of the things now. So I think that's the big thing is we think, and I'm not, it's just because you use the word that I've picked up on it, is like when I plant things in the garden, when we first moved here, it's a real sunspot. And people say trial and error, it's trial and error, but it's not trial and error, it's trial and feedback. So I would plant things and then they would die, but it's not an error. It's just the soil and the sun and the plants and everything telling me, try something else. Something else might thrive here, or that you might need a different type, So I just think it's all feedback. It's just we don't like the feedback.
Well, I think that's just it. Like we don't like the feedback. Hindsight is not regret. We just need to understand how to use it as an ally. I mean, it's actually like this perfect addition, and it's funny because you two talking, it reminded me of the song Limelight by the band Rush. It's one of my oldest favorite songs. And the lyric in one of the verses is, all the world's indeed a stage and we are merely players, performers and portrayers, each another's audience outside the gilded cage. And it's true. Like sometimes you have an antagonist and sometimes you have a protagonist, and that those complementary features bring us to where we are in this life, and our animals play those roles for us too. So I think it's just like this really cool play on how we learn to use hindsight. And instead of saying I should have, we start to be curious about, this happened, so what can I make and as adjust? We're all inventors at the end of the day. And so we're all inventing this epic, beautiful, like unfolding of our being. And we just need to be playful with it. And I'm first to admit I'm not always. So I mean, it is a lesson I'm learning. And if you knew me 7 or 8 years ago, you wouldn't, most people don't even understand me now from my past life. So I just think it's such a blessing to be able to discover this curiosity inside of us that we all have, and our dogs have it. But isn't that like the thing too? Because our dogs kind of, I mean, I don't really know what kind of hindsight they have, but they live in the moment, right? We always talk about that, but there is absolutely benefit to reflecting and looking back at hindsight. It's a human gift for sure to be able to use it if we choose to use it in a way that's an ally.
And they love experimenting, don't they, dogs?
Yes.
That comes through a lot in communication sessions, is the desire to experiment and explore. And I love watching Darcy watch things and try different, not always, if there's a road and a car, I don't want to see experimenting with running across. Do you know what I mean? There are, and that's where control has its place. Context in that decision, I'm like, I'm going to keep you on the lead because you might run in whatever. But I guess they just they're here, they're designed to experiment and try different things. And it's okay if they don't like it. Even with the zoopharmacognosy, I remember when I started teaching it, and so many people were scared of offering, quote unquote, the wrong oil in case their dog was offended. I'm like, well, they'll just walk out the room or turn their head away. They're not, they're not going to hold it against you forever. It's just they've just learned that they have to be super clear in their no. So but just experiment with them and give them that opportunity to. It's kind of fun in a safe way.
I think that's such a beautiful way of looking at it there, because if we did, like, let's go back there. So saying, okay, so now we've got all these playbooks and courses and how-tos, etc. But instead of we looking at as this is something we have to get right,
Yeah.
this is something that we could use. These are tools that we can use to play and experiment with alongside our dogs. Not the dog is not the experiment. We are co-creating and learning together
Yes.
about each other and about communication, about all sorts of things. So, I think with that is a completely different intention of the way raising a dog versus I'm going to play with the tools that are available to see, to learn, to learn about each other and to learn about mainly, I think, communication. What do you like? Because if you're in a relationship, why do you communicate with somebody? Why do you spend time with them?
To know them. And to
Well, it's an exchange, isn't it? It's like you get the feedback. I think the feedback feels important. It's
Mm,
like when Bex isn't here. Okay, let's remove Bex and Darcy because I'll talk to Darcy just as much. I'm just saying this out loud because I don't know where it's going, but what it feels like. Like I personally love the bouncing back. Like I love the feedback loop of it, even if it's sometimes uncomfortable. I still like the feedback loop. But we don't just get it from people, do we? We get it from other things around us, but we don't necessarily see it as a feedback loop.
But again, I think you've hit a very important piece there, Rachel. It is that feedback loop and in any relationship. And yet, again, if we have an intention, I mean, I remember when I first started teaching Charlie some tricks, I used to, I'll be honest, the original, when I first started teaching him tricks, there was an outcome that I wanted. I wanted to teach him the trick. This is how the trick looked like. And I had to figure out these steps in order to have. And I mean, I used a clicker, I used treats, and we used like these little micro building on these things. I learned the whole science behind it, which was really fascinating, how dogs learn, etc. But still, there was an outcome attached to it. I wanted that trick to look like it should look in the book or in the video, etc. But what I did find later on, there were times when I got hugely frustrated and hugely upset with myself and him because it wasn't working the way I wanted it to work. But then when I started recognizing what a beautiful, as you say, communication tool feedback loop this was, because it gives our dogs the ability to communicate too, to have their say. It's like, no, that's not right. No, I don't understand that. You need to figure out another way of helping me to understand what you want. And so it became really fun way of, like, I used to go to bed thinking, okay, well, that didn't work and this didn't work, and how can I help him to understand this differently or whatever. So it becomes fascinating. And I think, again, with that wasn't about a specific outcome anymore. It was about him and I working out together of what we basically, what we were both looking for, what was working for us, what wasn't working for us. It was a beautiful communication, and I think it certainly helped to deepen our relationship immensely.
Well, your story right there about tricks is beautiful because it's really like an exploration into life. And what I hear you both talking about to me is, do we want to exist in this world through a bunch of courses and rules, or do we want to live in it? And that might include taking a course or doing tricks, but it is how we approach it. Is it fun? Does the dog love it? Do we love it? And typically that feedback loop is exactly what you're talking about. And to me, the feedback loop where you're not looking back with remorse or shoulds or coulds or this was wrong or a failure, if you look at it as like, well, that was fun, but we need to adjust, or we don't, I mean, because none of it is a mishap, and it's all great, but it is just, I think the word fun stuck out to me as you were talking about it. And that's like one of my favorite things to do with Zori is I love to go out and follow her. Now, when she chases a fox, I can't because I'm not that fast. And that dog can run through the pointy bramble forest thing. And I'm like, wow, I'll meet you on the other side. But I love to see where she's sniffing and what she like diving in at and what, like doing it with her rather than being on your phone. Or at times, of course, you go off and I watch the hawk or some other part of nature, but I just love to be invested in what she's interested in because it just feels and she'll look back and be so happy. And I just love that experience. And that's what Tricks does when both parties are into it.
Yes.
Like, and that's any dog class, none of it is wrong, but it's when you use it to exist. Because what happens when we overschedule our life? We get tired, we get cranky, you feel the weight of obligation coming down on you. And so when we feel like there's this pedestal that we have to raise our dogs towards when we get them, it's exhausting because I just don't think that we can out-train personality. Like dogs are going to be, and the more we allow them to be themselves, I think the more symbiotic the feedback loop in the relationship. But embracing the shit is just part of it, right? I mean,
I remember after I don't know, maybe 6-7 years of working with dogs, it suddenly just like dawned on me that because most people would come to me at that stage, that sort of adolescence phase, right? When things are just the wheels are falling off and nothing's working anymore. They'd put in the work and now nothing's working anymore. And it's probably the worst time in a dog's life or a human's life, even if they're going through that stage, to try and then start putting down control and restriction and whatever. It's actually the exact opposite. But it's really difficult for people because that is a time when they're doing delinquent things and people want, desperately to get this sort of under control wraps, as it were. And yet, for me, I kind of just said, this is really a time in your relationship where relationship comes first. You probably have to put some things on hold. You probably have to make some life changes and all sorts of things in order to accommodate this phase of life. Because if you just let it play out the way it's supposed to, with enough, yes, with certain boundaries in place. I'm not saying just let your dog go wild, but really with not the intention of I need to fix and train my dog during this, but I really need to allow them to evolve through this stage. It's an important phase of their life.
Yeah.
So then, and the dogs come out fine on the other side. Do you know what I mean? They don't need all our help and our control and our blah, blah, blah. It's just a phase and it kind of works itself out if we don't get so bloody involved in it all.
But there's a whole industry built around that phase.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. And as Kim says, that's not a bad thing. We need all of these different tools to help navigate through it. And some people will go all in with it and others will go the absolute opposite direction. And with Darcy being who she is, I definitely went through a period of like, okay, I need to try. I mean, I went on different social walks and every one of them, there was just like so crazy because it's how all these dogs walking in a group, which actually was fine. She quite enjoyed that. But then we'd have to walk in a group in the same direction as the other dogs. And I was like, that's not working for us. We need to be over there, like in the hills or, across the brambles. So I had to try all those things to realize, and I would book them. I would be like, okay, we'll do this, we'll do this. And of course, Darcy come along, she's up for all of it. And I'd be like, I'm not doing that again. I'm not doing that again. And then there was an incident where we'd gone to this one place that we went quite regularly. And this guy, I think I may have shared this story. This guy said something like, an aggressive dog like that should be off lead. And I didn't see anything happen. I didn't hear any noise, but it turns out she must have popped his dog between her legs. And it was really hard for me to hear those words. It was really, really hard. So I had to do a lot of sitting with that feeling, my dog, my girl, should we say, specifically. Be interesting if I'd had a boy, but a girl not being all sweetness and light and, gentle and what is it? Girls, sugar and nice and all things, or sugar and sweet and nice and all things, something like that.
Yeah.
She's not that. Not all the time. She is sometimes she's not.
Boys are frogs and snails and puppy dogs' tails, and girls are sugar and spice and all things nice.
That pressure we project onto our dogs. So hearing that, and of course I had to come from a guy that had a like cutesy lootsy fluffy little doggy, and I had to really look at myself and look at Darcy and what do we want? Like, what makes us feel good? How can I express my passion and my fire and my drive and my rah, all of that? It needs an outlet. It needs a place. It needs some things. And that's when we really pivoted to the places. And now when you were talking, Kim, about the connecting, when you're doing that, the tricks, I'm rubbish at tricks, but we do them a little bit. I love nothing more than just sitting with her and watching stuff. And I can feel that with her. I put a photo on Insta today of me laying on the grass and she's sat on top of me. And we're on this side of a hill and we're just watching people, cyclists, dogs, birds. Oh, it's so that piece. That's the most important piece, is when you're together with them, that connection. I don't know that anything else is more important than that. It just feels divine.
Yes. I love that, and it's funny because we've just had so much rain here, and yesterday it just unleashed. It was the most beautiful day, and then about sunset, and it's wild around here at sunset. And I think, Sue, it goes back to what you're saying about like Beltane, but what was it? Beltane. Can't read my own writing that I wrote down. Right, it comes back to Beltane because everyone's out. All the nature creatures are out, and every day about sunset, there's 6 deer that walk across our driveway right in front of the house. And Zori just, oh my God, the deer are out. So I've started sitting with her and we just watch for them. And now it's like, it's just so amazing to watch her, and she'll stand up on the windowsill and just the nose presses against the window and she just watches. And then the fox follows. And then the deer come back. And then like sometimes the deer is scattering because there's a car or something. And, it's like, but it's just so amazing. And then the hawk circles up here. And it's just every night it's like predictable. And then, the skunks come after that.
Wow.
And it's just so wild to watch it. And so now it's become like the best TV.
And just as you're saying that, Kim, I mean, I'm immersed in what you're saying there, and what Zori is experiencing, and what most of our dogs are experiencing, is a heightened, elated state of excitement.
Yeah.
When it comes to these things. And yet again, there's a whole industry around trying to teach your dogs not to chase deer, or not to to ignore wildlife, where it's just so much freaking fun for them. It's really hard. It's hard to be a dog in a human world.
It is.
With the human concepts. And I'm not saying that again. I'm not saying, let your dog off and let them hurt the wildlife. But it really is. It's like euphoria for them. It's so much damn fun. So it's really, yeah. It's again, like you say, Rachel, the whole industry built around what they shouldn't be doing, and yet it's pure instinct. It's pure joy chemicals for them.
When
Yeah.
did we forget having fun? Like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
you know, like when did we forget? Maybe that's one of the reasons we have dogs is because they're so
It
unapologetically,
is.
you
It
know,
is.
just to be like, as an animal communicator, you step into their energy. And it's like, I guess maybe it's what other role do you get to do that and be completely that in that other being's energy? And it's so freeing and exciting and fascinating to experience that. It's energizing. But anyone can do that. You don't have to be an animal communicator.
Mm-mm.
It doesn't have to be your profession. You can just be like join in with your dog if they're like swearing someone going past. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, maybe behind a window, but just see what it feels like, you know, just role play a bit. We used to love those. I mean, as a kid growing up, I loved the TV shows that were live. Like that was a real thing, went from when on live TV because we'd love watching the clips where things would go quote unquote wrong. We like all of those things. We like watching all that stuff that's scary, that's messy. But yet we've got these other beings that we're like, well, don't do that. Just watch, you know, don't do that. We're like turning the volume down and turning the color down and turning them into like black
Yeah.
and white. And I just think there's so much of a sensory richness that they can bring us when we step into who they are and what they're showing us. So like with Darcy, she was peering through the blinds this morning. It cracks me up because she literally is a curtain twitcher. So she's like that. And you see someone go past and she's like, what the hell are you doing? With such intensity. And if I'd been doing that, it would look mental. Like
Oh, that'd
my
be
neighbors
awesome.
saw me peering, which of course I do, right? I'd be like, oh no, but they've seen me. All our dogs are curtain twitchers. They just
I want to see you actually do it with Darcy though, where you're like,
Yeah.
oh my god, the person's in the window, and you're just like screaming with them. I mean, I just love that. I think that there's benefit to that. I mean, honestly, the way that I was raised to deal with dogs was we would have covers over every single window because
Right.
they bark and they're at the windows and like always just watching because it's like it's no different than us turning on a show or watching a movie.
shouting
Exactly. It's
at the football.
entertainment.
That's her movie. And
Yeah.
it's amazing. We'll be making breakfast in the morning and they're in there and she goes to this one window because there's a family of 3 chipmunks and they perform for her. I mean, we say we call it monk vision, and they come out there not intimidated. They stand on the step, like right in front of the window, and she's just watching. She doesn't say a word or do anything. She just gets all like excited. She freaking loves it. It's like a kid getting handed their favorite thing. I mean, how are you
It's like a
supposed
puppet
to
show.
how are you supposed to deny that? And then, our most gentle dog that we ever had, Biggs, he's the one who ran down and caught a rabbit somehow. I mean, good on you, dude. He's running through the yard with it. Like, look what I have. He didn't know what to do with it. But I mean, you can't, it's nature.
Yeah.
It was somewhere in his instinct, at least once in his life. I'm going to say it was just once. Usually he was curled up in the chair.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it is, like I think, bringing it sort of together there, it is like nature. It is unruly. We go through unruly phases in life, just so our dogs do too. But it's just bringing back that fun and that joy. And one of the reasons we did it versus this trying to, put them in a box and have these, what it's supposed to look like versus, let them have more fun and let us have more fun with them.
Don't
You know,
take
it
it so
doesn't mean that it
seriously.
doesn't mean, don't take it so seriously. Exactly. It's such a short time that we have with them. It really doesn't have to result in anything. It just has to result in a relationship, which is so much fun. And so allows us to be curious, and it takes us down into deepest grief and loss and the happiest joyous moments of our life. It takes us through all the emotions, those relationships, with whether it's
Yeah.
with animals or with people. And it's all of it that counts. It's all of it that's important.
Frankie says relax.
I think also we take ourselves quite seriously, don't we? I don't
We
mean
do.
us three
We do.
specifically, but we do. I definitely I have to check myself.
Huh?
I mean, I am mostly a bit of a wally. Well, that's true, right? I am a big kid, and I mess around a lot, and I am very playful, naturally very playful, and but I do take myself too seriously sometimes, and I have to laugh at that. The other day we were out with Darcy, and we were just coming to the end of the walk, and this lovely, genteel-looking, smartly dressed couple walked into our field. How very dare they? And Bex had Darcy on a shorter lead because we're coming to the road, and so Darcy had gone into her sits. I'm going to wait till these people have gone past. So as they went by me, I said, she might bark at you, or she may not. I said, it's not personal. And then I said, I do mean the dog, not the lady. And it turns out Darcy didn't. She didn't bark at them, but it just, I don't know. I think it just makes it funny. Like people, it's sort of, I find when I approach people, if I feel Darcy may shout at them, I may say, or she might shout at you. And then often when I say that, she then doesn't, because I've changed the energy of it, maybe because
Yes,
I've talked to
yes.
them, or maybe she will continue to, but it just play with the different conversations, I think.
Yeah. I so often now, if I see people, they come along and you can see they start getting tense and they shorten the lead and they do what it is. And then as the dog barks, there's like, oh, I always just say it's okay. The dog's just having their say. Just allow them to speak. And like you say, she's going to shout at you such a beautiful way versus she's going to bark at you.
Yeah.
It gives it a little bit more human things. And what do you call it? Can't think of the word. It gives it a bit of a human context. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Because a dog barking sounds nasty, but a person shouting is, they're just having their little say, And
Yes.
yeah, so what? So what if they don't like the way your dog looks? Don't take it personally. So what if they don't like your outfit today? Don't take it personally.
Or do take it personally because it's a really bad outfit.
Exactly.
My dog is judging your outfit.
No, my dog is
Guys.
judging what you're thinking in your head right now.
We had a couple walk past Darcy's little fenced-in area, and they had I don't know, like a small fluffy dog, and they weren't local to the road. They were passing through, and she was really going at it because people and dogs that she knows, she might like, oh, woo, 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 is a certain sort of bark, as in, hello, I'm here, and then there might be like, all right, I'm going crazy, and I could hear them saying, oh, she's probably just saying hello. I was like, no, that wasn't a hello. But you can see they were trying to diffuse it for themselves. I'm like, no,
Yes.
she definitely wasn't saying hello.
Oh, man.
Funny.
I mean, the more we can relax, it's good. The more we can just watch our dogs and enjoy how they're enjoying life and allow them to enjoy life. If that's boisterous, it's boisterous. If it's quiet, it's quiet. A lot of times we do the opposite too. We take this really quiet dog and try to get them to be more excited about things.
Yes,
And
yes.
so it works in the opposite way too, right? We try to make them fit what we think our life should be. But if we really just relax into it and follow along with our dogs, we know that we have attracted the perfect energy for what we need in our life right now. It's good for our well-being. It's good for our dog's well-being, and it's good for nature
Yeah.
because nature responds to all of it. I just need look no further than the chipmunk show that goes on or whatever, right? They're responding to the beings in our house.
I love that they come round to your house to watch your dogs.
I don't often have my phone with me, so I need to get a video of it because it's like groundhog parkour happens. It's awesome.
Well, I have a cat. I've probably told the story, but I'll tell it again. We have a black cat in our neighborhood who comes and sits right in front of the gate, in front of the fence. We have a little picket fence, in our little garden, and it will sit right behind that fence, and it'll come and really just irritate the dogs. It'll sit there and lick itself, as cats do. It'll sit right because they know the dogs can't get to them. And it freaks Charlie out something terrible. I mean, he gets so worked up and gets his toy and he rattles it by the fence. He's, yeah, I'm gonna kill you. And the cat says, come and try. Licking at something, that. And I just think, again, it's like watching two creatures having just like two humans would. Do you know what I mean? The one teasing the other one, intentionally teasing, and the other one freaking. And yet they do it all the time and they absolutely love it because what we've figured out is we've opened the gate sometimes and we said, then off you go. And Charlie just turns around and goes back into the house. He has no intention of eating the cat. It's just a game that they play. And for years and years, I tried to stop it. And now I just let it be because it's just a game. It's a game between two individuals.
Yeah.
And they seem to love it. They play it on a daily basis.
Yeah. It's like when we used to go out and look for our friends in the neighborhood. I mean, that's what it reminds me of.
Up in our choppers and we used to go and cause trouble.
Yeah.
Knock on people's doors and run away.
Ding dong ditch.
Ding dong ditch.
That's what we called it.
What do you end up in a ditch?
You ditch the door, you run. That game's right out with all the Ring cameras now. Can't do it.
I spoiled it. Yeah, that's right. All of those. Oh, that just brings back great memories. I want to play Ding Dong Ditch, but with the actual ditch version.
Yeah.
That's
I mean, look at the fun. Look at the fun that we had. And why can't our dogs also have some fun? They also deserve to have their own amount of fun.
Isn't that just it? Like, we've defined for them what friendship is. Oh, I mean, it's just like, it's so wild, right? Like, we'd say, like, you should play with your own species and a dog your own size. And, well, you're a girl, you need to play with a boy. And, like, we figure all that stuff out. And then they really just want to play with a cat.
Yeah.
I mean, that's cool.
And you see those cool. Sorry, go on, Kim.
No, I'm done.
You can see these cool videos on Instagram of a deer that's playing with a dog or like a fox that comes in and they develop a friendship. And it's so, or a parrot and a cat, or I just love all the really unconventional relationships that develop. But yeah, the whole idea that a dog has to be friends with a dog. That
they should be friends with all dogs because they should be nice.
Forever.
I think like we have every year, like right outside of our door, we have a wood beam that goes up and kind of, I don't know what, makes a corbel kind of design, and robins build nest in there. Robins can be pretty aggressive. So I think the first year they did it, we just used a different door. And then we kind of forgot and we like just started going out that door. And I'll tell you, like she built the nest again this year. And yesterday, like I saw the two birds flying like in and out and in and out, and they don't care. They don't give two looks to our dogs going in and out. And sometimes when the babies are born, they'll like climb up the wall and like look up at the nest, and the birds don't care. And the dogs have no interest in hurting the birds. And yesterday I saw the little beak.
Oh, sweet.
Just a tiny little one because Jim and I have been watching to see if there's a beak, and there's finally a beak yesterday. So spring is coming here.
Yeah.
But I
It's
just love that, like
gorgeous.
that's just a thing, and I love that they feel safe to build their nest there.
Yeah.
It's awesome because we love to
We
watch it.
Yeah. It is beautiful watching, like, seeing them build a nest, and then, like you see, the first little beaks, and then
Mm.
one day it's gonna be flying in the nest. It's just beautiful to watch that life cycle, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. We had in our very first house, we had 2 dogs, and we had quite a big garden then, and I can't remember. I think it was an Indian myna. Do you know what an Indian myna is, the bird?
And I've
Mm-mm.
heard of a myna bird, but didn't they
Yes.
Yeah,
take them
it's
down
of the
into the
myna
mines?
family. No, that's a canary, isn't it? Anyway, they're very intelligent birds. I think they're of the corvid, not COVID. They're of the
Corvids.
the corvids. Um, and I think it started coming down. Used to eat the dog's food. I think that's how it sort of started coming more and more often. And then it became quite tame, and it was particularly attached to Hubert, my husband, and it used to come pretty close to him, and sometimes it would even come sit near him and whatever, and he would feed it, etc. But it was a completely wild bird. And then it was there on a daily basis. Used to start playing with the dogs, as you say, come dive bomb the dogs, and they would play with it, etc. But the funniest thing is because it became very territorial about visitors. So when we got visitors and we were sitting outside, it used to sometimes dive bomb them and try and chase them away.
That's so funny.
It really
Oh,
was. It
man.
was so funny. We used to like, don't worry about the dogs, they're fine. But we have this wild bird that comes flying in and might attack you,
Oh my God.
just so that you know.
Hilarious.
My
dear.
bestie Jodie lives in just outside Bath, and she's got 3 kids and 5 dogs and chickens and all different things. And the kids are in the dogs, and the cats are all in among, everyone's part of everything. And we'd all gone out in the car, and I was visiting, and we'd all come back, and the chickens were out, and they've got 1 cockerel and I think 5 girls. And anyway, everyone had gone in the house, and I thought, oh, I'm going to go and sit and like check out the chickens. They look really pretty. And then as I'm walking off, something hits me in the back of the legs. And it was the cockerel, and he's only tiny. He's like a bantam one, or he was really little, but it really freaked me out. So honestly, it was a moment from Jurassic Park, because their car was parked in their garden, and this bird was coming at me with his feet. So I get in the car, in the back seat, thinking, oh my God, the Bournes are all going to be looking out the window in hysterics at me. This English, because they're Australians. And I shimmied across the back seat and got out of the other side and got in the house. And they were like, where have you been? I said, the chicken was trying to attack me. So then the little lad, Huxley, came out and he's like, I've got you, Greenie Bops. That's what they call me. I've got you. But as soon as he'd see me, he'd be straight after me. And they thought it was hilarious. And they were like, how funny. They've never seen him be territorial before, but I was shit scared. This chicken coming after me. So funny. He must have loved it.
Out. Oh, man.
Yeah.
You wonder if they like entertain themselves. I'm sure they do. Watch this.
Yeah.
Again, exactly. We could call that bad behavior or whatever, territorial, whatever. Maybe they're just having good old time.
He was showing off for the girls. Watch this, girls.
He so was.
This is how it's done.
Like, yeah. Let me show you, girls.
Strutting off. See what I did?
Oh, yeah.
She was like, and the story that story they would, I scared of a human once. She was like 50 times my size.
Hid in a car.
This is
Brilliant.
great.
Oh, dear.
Ah,
Well,
so
I
good.
love all the silliness because it is just, comes back to that again, having fun with our dogs, having fun in life, not taking things so seriously, and certainly just enjoying the abundance and fertility and expansiveness of everything that we forget, right? Instead of narrowing it down and building up walls and putting in boxes and things, just yeah, a bit more free and curious and unruly, just like me.
Unruly.
Duh.
So I think that's it for us today, girls. I think it's a good wrap there. What do you think?
Yes.
Oh, we forgot oils. Yes, we forgot oils. Thank you for the sniff.
Like, hello, I was so excited when I picked, because I picture this is what happened. So I have my essential oils box, and I thought, and I always think of Kim when I do this, because Kim's particularly keen on the random selections. So I thought, I know where they all are. They're like, so I stood in front of my box and span around 3 times with my eyes closed. And then dipped my hand in and brought it out, like those games where the metal
Yes.
pulls out the toy. And I pulled out frankincense. I was like, I'm winning at life because I love frankincense. I'm so pleased with that selection.
My gosh.
Oh, Frankie.
What about you, ladies?
I've got lavender, my all-time fave. I just love, 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 love this so much. And my dog Layla's really not well at the moment, and she's very restless at night. And last night I thought, I just don't know what else to give her or offer her. And I thought, good old lavender. I know lavender always works. And it was so comforting, when they do that little, I call it smutting, like that.
Yeah.
Like that, and she just like snuggled into her bed and yawned, and then they made that little
Oh,
and I was just like, oh, Lavender, I love you.
I love that. Oh,
Perfect.
She just melted into it. So yeah, I got my lavender today.
Gorgeous.
I have Siberian fur.
Mm.
So it is absolutely
Wow.
wonderful.
Siberian fur.
It's quite sharp, isn't it,
Yeah.
Kim?
But it was perfect for today.
Mm.
It woke me up after not sleeping so good last night. So I had disrupted sleep. I was excited about our podcast.
Duh.
And I looked up the color psychology of green and like the Verde that you're talking about. And it's feelings of tranquility, rejuvenation, and renewal.
There we
So
go.
it's pretty much what spring does, right? I mean, it makes you feel alive. It's so good.
So maybe that's another topic for another day. I did some time ago in a group, I did a thing about color therapy for dogs.
Oh, yeah.
And that's like, you can see, I mean, color therapy, call it a therapy, we can use it like the clinical way, but like anything, colors have an energetic pattern and they have an energetic frequency. And if our dogs are energetically in tune, just like they are with the essential oils and the plants, why shouldn't they be with color as well? So
Well, yeah.
it'll be fun to explore sometime
And
too.
even if they don't see colors, they feel them.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's what I'm going to say, because some people say to me, oh, but they're colorblind or they can only see, and I said, it doesn't matter. They can still feel the frequency of the color.
Well, yeah.
Just because they can't see it the way we can see it through our filters doesn't mean they can't feel it and experience it.
I ran my animal communication group program and it lasted 6 weeks. And every week I communicated with the dogs that were in the group. And there was one dog in particular. She asked me to wear chromotherapy glasses for every communication session. So this week I wore yellow, and that next week I wore green, and then I wore red, and then I wore blue. And I think the day like every dog kind of took the lead for one of the weeks, and like her week, she's like, you're wearing green. And so the whole like Zoom call, I wore green glasses. I couldn't see crap, but I'm like, you're testing my ability to teach without notes.
That's so cool.
And it was great. And then I believe that's going to be my second novel. Is kind of about the trend of color and what it's all about. So
Well, that's cool.
yeah, it started but I got to finish the first one first. So,
Oh,
but it's
that's
like
exciting.
it's like just so amazing how when you just let life flow, what you can reap from it when you're gentle and relaxed, curious. I love it. This has been awesome.
It's been fun.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, ladies. And remember, everybody, please subscribe, comment, ask questions, tell us your thoughts. We'd love to hear if you like it. And if you don't, you can tell us too. That's also fine.
It's all feedback, innit?
It's all
Yeah, feedback loop, baby.
This is shit.
Thanks for that feedback.
We'll see what we can do.
No, we'll continue to do what we like to do.
That's exactly my point.
Oh, dear.
Brilliant.